You must have heard the word stupid, right? It seems you have. But have you ever heard the word very stupid? Okay, you've not. Now picture this. Imagine an armed robber breaking into your store, pointing a gun at you, demanding all your money, only to suddenly pull you aside 2 seconds later and whisper, "Hey bro, I know you can't see me. That's because I'm invisible. But don't be scared. Just give me all the money you have and I'll leave." That makes no sense, right? Well, in 1995, that wasn't a joke. His name was MacArthur Wheeler, an American man. So one day, he was having a casual conversation with his friend. And during that conversation, his friend said to him, "Hey Arthur, did you know if you wash your face with lemon juice, your face becomes invisible and only your body can be seen?" Now, for everyone else, that's clearly a dumb superstition, just nonsense you laugh at and move on. But to MacArthur, this was real science, a life-changing discovery he took to heart. And just like that, he got an idea to rob a bank. So he got a gun, he made his plans, and when he felt ready, he told himself, "It's time." On the big day, everything was prepared, but there was one final step before the operation, and that was to wash his face with lemon juice. And that's exactly what he did. But for confirmation, he took a photo of himself after applying the juice. Here's where it gets insane. Somehow, the picture came out looking like his head was missing, only showing his body. To him, this was solid proof, so he thought, "Yeah, this works. My friend was right after all." So, MacArthur marched into the bank, confident as ever. He pointed his gun at the tellers, who were terrified, and demanded all the money they had worked that day. But in the middle of the operation, he looked at the tellers and realized they were terribly scared. So, out of love for humanity, he walked up to them and said, "Hey, I know you're scared because you can't see my face. Don't worry, actually I have a face, just that you just can't see it, so don't be scared." But that got the tellers really baffled, because even a fool could tell they were scared just because Arthur had a gun to their faces, not because his head was supposedly invisible. But in MacArthur's mind, their fear came from his missing face. What he didn't realize was that not only could the tellers clearly see his face, but the CCTV cameras were recording him the whole time. And the funniest part? He even smiled at the cameras as if mocking them, because in his head, he was invisible. Here is one of the footages. Now fast forward a few hours later. The police easily tracked him down because they literally had his face in HD quality. When they arrested him and showed him the footage, MacArthur was in total shock. He stared at the screen and muttered the now legendary words, "But I wore the juice." Yes, you heard that right. He thought lemon juice worked like invisible ink, the kind you use for secret letters. He was so confident in his science that he didn't even bother wearing a mask. But reality came knocking, and this time it came with handcuffs. Now, do you remember the picture he took where his face appeared invisible? Police believe the truth was much simpler. MacArthur probably just pointed the camera the wrong way and accidentally captured himself the wrong way. That's why the picture turned out that way. But to Arthur, the distorted photo was proof that the lemon juice had worked. MacArthur was later sentenced to 25 years in prison. But his story didn't just end as a hilarious failed robbery, because two psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, later studied his case and concluded that his stupidity was so powerful that it blinded him from recognizing how stupid he was. In other words, he was too stupid to realize he was stupid. From that, they coined one of the most famous psychology terms in history, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. So in the end, MacArthur Wheeler became more than just a failed robber. He accidentally became living proof that sometimes the less you know, the more confident you feel, because you're too clueless to realize how clueless you actually are.